I know you like to play music. Are you able to play your music?
No, they took my music away. They're scared of it. They're afraid of it. They took it and gave it to somebody else.
Well, I got a little surprise here for you. We, executive producer found a CD, which is not your voice, apparently, but apparently your songs. And we took the liberty of bringing a little box here along so that you could hear.
Let me explain. It's never been my thought to be anything other than what I am. I went to Hollywood because people wanted me to go there. And they would tell me, come over and do this because we got some acid. Or go over there and do that because there's some girls. And I would go and I would play, but when it came down to, I wouldn't be through that. I just got out of one prison. Why do I need to go through another? I got all the money I could use. I'm a mafioso. I'm a godfather in the underworld. I don't need no money. I don't got a job. I'm not in trade. I don't buy and sell things. You see what I'm saying? That particular album was made off a little old $7 tape recorder. And it was put together as a promotion angle for the guy who made $600,000-$700,000 for that. My music is not on tape.
Well, this apparently isn't you singing. Sandra Good talked to our producer yesterday and told us that this is actually somebody named Steve Grogan.
Yeah.
But I have to give a little shot.
I heard of him. We used to call him the dog boy.
The time for the blues, the time so flying.
Recognize the song?
And all you do is crying. Can you feel? Those feelings real. Look at your game, girl.
Yeah, that's an old song.
Yeah, I guess these are all back in the 60s.
Yeah, that's an old time trick, man. See, that reminds me of ancient history.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it was a long time ago. I guess there were some other...
Me? Not my inner being, you know. So I told you I spent a year in the hole. The captain came by, and he looked at me and said, son, can I help you? I told him, I don't think you're my father. But if I did, you just laugh at me. He said, no, I won't laugh at you. I said, you promise you won't laugh? He said, I promise. I said, shit. He looked at me to play a weak little game. And then I looked at him and I said, you know, I haven't had a letter from my mother in over 7 years. And he went the other way. I said, why don't you run down there and get me a bar of soap? And everybody else was up on it, said, please, and they're begging him. And I wouldn't beg him. And he hated me because I wouldn't look up to his virtues. I would have looked up to his virtues if he'd have been truthful and honest. He wasn't truthful and honest. He was playing his little face game. It's like, let me tell you something that you don't see. You go behind the church and you look at the preachers. They're playing with the Boy Scouts in the dark. And they're as nasty as anybody in the street. And they're without conscience and without morals. But then you pass through the door into the church. Oh, we're so much love. And we love you and you're so wonderful. And I'm down at the bottom standing in fire. Face is on fire. And I'm thinking, why am I holding these people up?
What's the key to morality for you? What's evil to you?
I'm God to my friend and a devil to my enemy. To my own and my family, I'm the warrior, the fighter, the biter, whatever I got to do or be to feed me. You see all the puppies running for the dog food, running for the bowl. Well, I'm in the puppies, and I push all the other puppies, and I want some of the chow too. And I eat first. And if there's some left over, then I look out for what's next in order. Then I look out for my old lady because she's carrying my sleeping bag. You remember in 1969, the first thing I said?
I'm not sure.
To the public, I said, go ride a horse. Because that's where my mind went. You arrested me from the desert, and I'm out there with the horses. I'm not in the city with automobiles. Automobiles are making the pollution that's killing us. I'm not living in the electricity world. I'm not living in the only TV show. I only know one guy that owned a TV. And I would come down from the mountains into his living room, and I wouldn't want to go in his house because there was TV in it. He said, come on in. TV ain't going to bite you. He said, I only watch one program. I said, what's the program is that? He said, Star Trek.
You watch TV here?
Yeah,
Yeah,
all the time. Yeah.
You keep up with current events? Do you watch the news? And
I don't watch them, all them little cheap, vicarious old women fear things. All they're doing is selling fear to them old witches, them old broads that live on that vicarious thrill. You watch them in the show, and they say, any children, you drove her down by the car, and they go, oh. You know, they're all just, that's silly, man. It's really, that's another thing I'm mad at the whole society about. Your minds are all stuck in movies. You can't get to reality unless you go through a movie. You got to make 4 or 5 movies before you get to the reality of it. Everybody wants to be locked up, so they make movies up over my thoughts. They steal my thoughts. They put microphones in my walls. They put them in my sink. They steal my letters. Everything I do or say, it just becomes Magnum P.I. on one hand, and Robert Conrad on the other, going in my I'm a secret agent for the Rugelflaum, the Vanflaum, and all that Robert Lamp dance to get off the roll. Funds you get to let it get up to the Republic because of the best roll dance. You see it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
oh, I got
kind
it.
of creative in there.
Yeah. Life.
How can you give society rights when society don't give rights?
Which rights do you think have been violated?
I didn't even get to put on a defense. I never got to call one witness. When it came time for me to put on a defense, it became a political thing. Let me give you this real quick. The Catholic Church has been trying to turn this country into Catholic for years. They ride on the courtroom. The Protestant Church is the United States government. The Constitution was a covenant with the cross and the Bible. Freedom of religion was freedom of our religion. Freedom of the Protestant religion, out from underneath King George to where the honest labor man, the man of the mountains and the hills and the guys in the hose, had entrance into the court. But when you cut me out of the courtroom, you didn't give me my rights in a courtroom. You tripped over yourself, Nixon. When you set a thought in your courtroom, that sets a reality in these men that hold the procedure. They are paid to hold that procedure in the will of the rules. The rules are the will of God. That's what the law is. It's there to protect everyone. What about Charlie? Are you going to give Charlie his rights? We can't give Charlie that courtroom. If we give him that courtroom, we got to give him the robe that goes with it, because Charlie knows more about what's going on in this world and country than we do, because it goes to this: sunshine,